one way for you to experience the vibration of your forehead, plug up each nostril with a thumb, and you put your fingers on your forehead like this, and you push up with your fingers, and you go, oh. You can feel your forehead vibrating quite powerfully. There's a small organ in the inner ear called the saccule, and the saccule is about the size of a pea, and it's got liquid in it, and it's got little grains of sand and nerves all over the inside of it, and it's used to detect the position of the head in relation to gravity. The saccule in reptiles and also in whales and dolphins happens to be a hearing organ. It is a hearing organ that receives ultrasonic frequencies, but only if they're transmitted physically through the body. In other words, ultrasound coming through the air doesn't affect the saccule, but if it's transmitted physically through the body, the saccule becomes a hearing organ, and it's got nerves running all over the brain that have nothing to do with balance. It's got nerves running to the hearing part of the brain and various other parts, and in fact, it's impossible to trace all the nerves running from the saccule to the different parts of the brain. So it's a very significant organ because it's a hearing organ that we have that we don't use. How could the human body receive ultrasonic sound physically through the body itself? There's only one way in nature that could happen, and that would be if we were in the ocean and a whale or a dolphin was scanning us with their ultrasonic sound frequencies. If you've ever swam with whales, you know that when they emit ultrasonic sound bursts, you can hear it, and most of us think we're hearing it with our ears, but you're actually hearing it through your saccule. We build an ultrasonic downverter, which is an ultrasonic microphone that takes ultrasonic sound and then converts it down into the range of ordinary human hearing. And then we put the neurophone on our head, and then we walked around with the downverter to see what kind of signal came off the human head when we were listening to the neurophone. The front of the forehead emits signals, ultrasonic signals, in a very tight beam, just like ultrasonic magnifier or just like an ultrasonic lens. And it has side lobes. In fact, it looks a little bit like the signal off a YAG antenna, an electromagnetic signal. So when you put the neurophone on, you're transmitting this powerful ultrasonic signal off the front of your head. And this might explain some of the telepathic stuff that we've experienced with the neurophone. Since we can record and hear ultrasonic sound through the body, and our foreheads, sinuses, sinus cavities, are ultrasonic radiators, maybe we can figure out a way to create ultrasonic sound using a human voice box. And so I began working on that, and I discovered several ways of creating ultrasonic sound using our own voice. And it's interesting that there are different ways of doing it. That's one way. If you can direct sounds from your throat, vocal pulses or other sounds, up into your sinuses, they vibrate and generate ultrasonic overtones. So I taught some friends how to do this, and they were going to Hawaii, and they wanted to swim with dolphins, and so they went to this bay where dolphins sometimes come, and there were no dolphins, and I had taught them how to make the ultrasonic sound. So I said, well, next time you go in the water, I want you to go underwater and generate the ultrasonic tone, and I want you to move your head back and forth underwater, back and forth slowly, like you're scanning, and just transmit that sound off your forehead into the water and see what happens. So they went in the bay, and there were no dolphins around. They were very disappointed. They went underwater. They did the exercise. 15 minutes later, they had 400 dolphins around them. And these dolphins were scanning them intensely with their sonar to the point where their bodies were vibrating to the point they could hardly stand it. It was so strong. And they said, why do you think the dolphins did that? And I said, well, dolphins and whales have been saying God, you guys are our ancient ancestors and you don't remember, and someday you're going to remember how to make ultrasonic sound and you're going to come communicate. And so, because they can tell a mechanical ultrasonic oscillator or electronic one from an organic one. And when they heard that organic beam coming through the water, they knew that was a human making that sound and that he had to be doing it consciously. I said, next time they come to see you, just communicate with them. Just send a beam at them and think the thought, how are you? You know, like, yes, that was me, and how are you? Just think the thought. Doesn't matter what the sound is, it's just a carrier. And so I said, and then listen to the dolphin. When they scan you, just see if you got any like weird thoughts or things, you know, and it might be something they're transmitting. You know, they might go, yes, we heard you, we are here. and just kind of realize that the human voice carries certain kinds of information, but the intention when we're speaking is what really is carried on top of that. And I believe that intention is the most powerful communications device that we've got, and our ability to transmit intention with our words is most important, because you can tell someone I love you, and if your intention isn't there, then they know that wasn't genuine, because the intention is what really communicates.